It's a game with ByuN! I'm so pumped! Oh wow, what a way to start a cast, am I right, folks? Ugh, nope. Empty as my soul. Alright, folks, without further song for time, let's get into it, because spawning the top right-hand position of Defender's Landing. He is representing a red Terran pair. He may be your BlizzCon champion facing against one of our Zerg scrubs. It is... I'm a scrub, by the way. It is ByuN, who is not the real ByuN. Alright, so we'll call him, ByuN, because that is his ID, and we have to respect his wishes. And in the bottom left-hand corner, spawning as JakeTheDog, representing our blue Zerg player, it is JakeTheDog. Playing for Psionic Aftermath in all of its glory. We press Control, we press N, and away we go. Now, here's the thing about using fake names for professional players, right? I get it. You want to call yourself Neeb and wreck the ladder and people think you're Neeb. And it's super cool, right? I get where you're coming from, honestly. I named myself Snoot the first time I started playing Starcraft. And you know what, every game, I said very upfront, like I was afraid like they were gonna come after me, right? Like, no, I'm not the real Snoot, I swear. Like, even if unsolicited, it'd be like, good luck, have fun, smiley face, whatever. And then it'd be like, you the real Snoot? And I would say, no, 100%, I am not. Get that out of your mind. I've never said anything like that. I just named myself Snoot and have his portrait up. So good on ByuN for admitting that he's not the real ByuN. ByuN, if you're watching this, I hope you're not too confused. I was promised that this was going to be an epic game of epic proportions indeed. I'm not going to say who sent it in. Not going to say who sent it in. Absolutely will not peep a word out of that. But I will say that their name rhymes with Make the Gyun. That doesn't give you guys a whole lot to go off of, and that is the whole point of that. Congratulations, you won an award for mental processing abilities. Now, JakeTheDog, let's see what he is doing. Not doing anything too out of the ordinary just yet. Hatch, gas, pool. Don't need to look at him for the next 10 minutes. Now, ByuN, on the other hand, he is going for a 2-1-1 sort of build, which is pretty interesting. You know, getting that... Ooh, actually, did he neglect to get a Reaper? Yes, he did not get a Reaper. Just to make sure he didn't lose it. What am I talking about? ByuN losing a Reaper. Even the fake ByuN wouldn't use a Reaper. He would just kind of, you know, pretend to lose it, then like throw out a KDA charge and like 10 Zerglings die, and then he moves across the map and the Reaper splits in two like Meiosis Reaper and continues to push for some goddamn reason. Oh man. I am just a huge ByuN fanboy, folks. If you are not a ByuN fanboy, I don't know what you are doing with your life, because ByuN is so good. I mean, I'm a Protoss player, honestly. I see him target on 7 High Templars, and I'm like, oh, ByuN, so cool. And the other half of me takes some time to die. But in the meantime, the half of me that is happy watching him target fire down these Templars so precisely is just kind of marveling. So maybe it's also because I do not have the best control. I was in GM, actually, for a grand total of 4 hours. And during that time, wow, people have a lot of APM, don't they, folks? Right, well, let's get back on into the game, because that's what you good folks came here to watch. This Overlord is going to go ahead and get taken out by our friend ByuN. Was the 2-1-1 scouted? No, he only sees the reactors, so for all our friend JakeTheDog knows, this could be a reactor Cyclone, it could be Banshee, it could be like 10 barracks behind here, SCV pull, and like use the barracks to draw Queen Fire, I don't know, something weird. JakeTheDog though, so has to kind of prepare for everything. We're gonna have to see if he goes for safety spores, gonna see if he goes for a lot of Queens and Links to defend against his 2-1-1. And let's actually talk about 2-1-1 on the new map pool. As you can see, and may or may not have already noticed, the map pool has changed, as a matter of fact. If you can see, this is not Overgrowth, in fact, nor is it Proxima Station. Though that's still in the map pool. It is not even Paladino Terminal, folks. It is Defender's Landing. Let's talk about the ZVT matchup of this, because it is honestly very tricky, right? So Zerg has 3 bases to go up to, that's fine and dandy. It's nothing too bad so far, right? You can have a couple of easy bases to take. 1, 2, 3, not bad. You can knock down these rocks, so your opponent only has 1 choke point. Well, I use the word choke point quite liberally here, but only 1 avenue of attack to go into. Which is good for the Zerg player, but then taking their forest starts to become a whole different issue, right? Because it's all the way up on the high ground, and when you have 4 bases horizontal like this, Terran can really do some abusing things with drops. Then again, maybe they can't. I don't know, I'm not a Zerg player. Just some food for thought. So this is kind of like a malnutrition, like shitty food. So probably don't listen to me on that one. And where are the medevacs? He has a lot of Marines, doesn't he? I mean, I'm finished talking. I'm done stalling for time. Let's get into the game. Yeah, 18 Marines. And 2 medevacs finally pop on out. This is a little bit of a delayed 2-on-1 timing. Generally, you have 16 Marines exactly, and then you just boost on off with the medevacs. But our friend ByuN has a small timing mistake. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. Alright, I have to kind of remind myself that this isn't the real ByuN, because if I say like, oh man, ByuN's macro really needs work. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna put a disclaimer that anything I say is not gonna go to the actual ByuN, it's in-game ByuN. I know that should be assumed, but Jesus folks, I just cannot shake the feeling. It's like something's wrong, you know? It's like a deeply ingrained instinct that doesn't want to go out. Speaking of deeply ingrained instincts, the drop is happening for the Terran player. Now, JakeTheDog is gonna go ahead, come and respond. He has things, he has queens, a very popular way of defending. Dark actually favors this quite a lot. Let's see what the Marines can do. Gonna go ahead and try to take out as much as they can. Medevacs, very low on life. ByuN has to be careful. Losing 1 medevac, kind of a little bit of a sloppy miscontrol from our friend ByuN. Oh god, it never feels right. And losing all those Marines. Take a look at the units lost. They have 16 Marines to 32 Zerglings. That's actually pretty. Oh my gosh, that is almost as precise as you get, man. 16 eggs for 16 Marines. Wow, that is absolutely nutso. Kind of. Quick look at nothing. Now look at something. ByuN, he is a 1-1 on the way. So behind this, he doesn't want to follow it up with more aggression. He's really had a lot of wind taken out of his sails. So now our friend JakeTheDog, look at his worker count, 52 to 42. I mean, if you've been watching the GSL recently, I'm not going to spoil anything. I promise you I will not. But if you have, all I will say is that this worker count, 48 drones. I mean, that's not losing any drones. This isn't like the GSL, folks. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. Leave it as ambiguous as possible so you folks don't know anything, which is benefiting you. Welcome. Now. Alrighty, let's see what our players are up to. ByuN does have a 3cc, it's halfway through completion, not bad so far. He's loading up another drop, but god, losing those 16 Marines and a medevac that early on in the game. I mean, that is almost, I would like to say, game losing, but not really. I mean, generally, like, he's gonna let JakeTheDog go up to like 65-ish, 70 workers, just because he lost all those units. A lot of momentum was taken out, and Terran really relies on being able to push over and over and over again, eventually, like, you know, wearing down the Zerg player. They have to like whittle them down, like carve a piece of soap out of them. Like that's what Terran players do to Zerg players, right? And if Zerg can just buy themselves like a couple of minutes of uninterrupted macro, I mean Terran's gonna find themselves in a spot of bother. Now ByuN gonna go and someone forward, not deciding to take out the screen through, but just content to trade for a little bit. Loses a medevac, unfortunately. ByuN's trades aren't looking so well. And, okay, I'll try to keep that under control. Gonna go ahead, drop over here, but JakeTheDog, too good for that, knows that, hey, I saw you do that, you piece of schnitzel. I'm gonna go ahead and respond. The Target Fire is not there for ByuN, and he loses all these banelings. Probably the only time I will ever get to say that ByuN's Target Fire on banelings was not the best. Hydra's on the way! Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright, alright. Hydra's on the way in a ZVT. Gosh, this is some unique ass special sauce ass piece of special tactics ass Zerg player. I'll tell you folks that much. Now these Marines are gonna tickle these degrees to death. At least they're not sentries, right? And now Hydra's on the way. I want you to think about this as carefully as I am, folks, because Hydra's in a ZVT. You barely see that. You barely see Hydras in a ZVZ. Why see them in a ZVT? An even more volatile matchup for the Zerg player. I don't know. I mean, I guess Hydras are pretty good. If we take a look at their attack, this interface doesn't show that shit. But they have good attack. Trust me, if anyone has ever faced a Hydralisk ever in the history of anything, you know that these bad boys deal a lot of damage. They, I think, 3-shot Marine, so that's not bad. Coupled with the Lingbane, that's gonna be pretty effective. Now, I know what you all are thinking, like, you know, Lingbane Hydra, isn't that a good composition, right? I'm a Protoss player and I've been smacked down by Lingbane Hydra. Well, yeah, you were a Protoss player, now this is a Terran player. There's gonna be some very big race differences here. For example, the Widowmines probably are gonna play some bit of a factor since he doesn't have enough really banelings and lings to go ahead and set those off effectively. That's gonna be a factor. If he mixes in a couple of Marauders, that's going to be a factor. That's going to, you know, definitely negate some of the Hydra DPS. And Marines actually have a decent amount of DPS on themselves. I would wager to say that stimmed, upgraded Marines would do a lot better versus Hydralisk, and Marines don't cost gas, and they're much cheaper, and they have more value in them. So, JakeTheDog, I'm not certain what his plan is. I'm trusting him in his abilities, though. I will say that he has done this before and probably knows what he's doing. Let's take a look at his creep spread, which that's a hive. Good job, Mr. 789, best caster in the universe, 2000 and K18. Yeah. Now, Hive is on the way, so he's working toward that, so I get it. So, he doesn't want to stay in Linkman Hydra forever, which is a really good thing, folks. Believe me, Linkman Hydra definitely loses a lot of equity as you move yourself into the later portions of the game. So, transitioning out of it, I get it. He's going to take maybe 1-2 engagements. It doesn't matter if they're super cost efficient. He just kind of needs to hold on, for the lack of a better term. He needs to hold on, he needs to not die, and then he's basically in an amazing position. Now, if ByuN is going to give him that opportunity, I'm not so certain. The Widowmine Trail is beginning. He's going to have a lot to crawl back onto. Now, these queens, are they going to prematurely pick off a medevac? No. ByuN's control too good for that. There we go. That feels natural. Now, a couple of Banes rolling on in. Do get okay connections. These Widowmines are almost totally blown on up. And now our friend JakeTheDog is going to go for it. Let's see how that works out for him. Then to go in and spill everything on through. The Bane's getting okay connections. The Widowmine's not doing too much. The Hydra DPS is not to be trifled with. Huge baning shots as well. And ByuN is losing a lot of fire and is forced to retreat for the time being. Because though he wants to keep on pushing on through, I don't think that's a good call. Damn, imagine being a Liberator fighting into a Hydra Queen. Now ByuN, 91 supply to 52. Look at it, ByuN. Look at the chicken noodle supply. You should not ignore that at all. And man, take a look at the resources lost tab. 6,459 for Zerg, 8,425 for Terran. That is absolutely not what you want to see as a Terran player. Like, this should be the other way around, and even then, like, Zerg's okay, right? So we can just imagine how terrible of a position not BlizzCon champion ByuN is. The other ByuN is, this ByuN isn't. God, I should probably stop talking to myself about that. Now, let's take a look. With our ByuN right now, I mean, there's a mosquito on my light post. Oh, man, come on, I need my blood, man. Alright, forget it for a second. Quick counter attack over here, gonna do a good bit of damage. Oh my god, JakeTheDog might as well be the Terran, man. He is up in supply. Well, yeah, in a good position. He is doing the worker damage. He is taking the cost-efficient trades. And look at the creep spread. Oh my god, man. He is basically taking over his half of the map. You gotta give props where props is due. JakeTheDog is definitely doing some great things. Now, an Ultralis Cavern is on the way. That's gonna be the hive tech that JakeTheDog is gonna fall back on. I don't see a world where ByuN really pushes him back. I mean, if I were ByuN, you know, he doesn't have even a fourth base. I would like to take an expansion, start dropping, do something, clear creep. You just can't be this passive versus a Zerg player. Look at it. Look at that pretty little Zerg flower. I gotta be careful with rotating the camera angles, because the first time I tried to cast this, it got stuck in like a really weird, like, you know how Starcraft is at like at a 45-degree angle. That's how you see it. It's just like, man, and you're like, yeah, I can see everything, right? Well, when I was well, when I did it for the first time, it was like stuck at like that rotated angle, and I was like, oh my god. So I had to redo everything. So I'm not gonna touch those buttons. I'm just gonna focus on the game now. Swarm host special tactics, always a nice thing to see, especially in defender landing. I suspect this will be an okay map red. Big clip over here, nothing to be unexpected now. This base really should have been in planetary, folks. Now he's gonna go ahead and try to flip this orbital. He's just so poor. It's our friend ByuN. Look at that mineral income, 1,000 to 2,000. Doesn't get any more dire than that, folks. 3 more Ultralisks are on the way. 153 supply to 191. Now ByuN is still taking a lot of damage. Despite what does get burnt on down, that should open the path for more harassment later on in this game. Shouldn't go that far, and these range units actually giving ByuN a whole lot of trouble. The mechanic between walling off and range units, between walling off versus Zerg player, completely changes when you mix in range units, and I think that's very interesting. Now, Swarm Host. Back to hell with those muffins. Meanwhile, ByuN trying to take the best engagement he can. The Ultras are in the front. Do they have Cactus fading? Yes, they did. Fully upgraded Ultras. They're going to crash on through. ByuN loses his army once again, and it's forced to retreat for the time being. Now, I don't know what is stopping our friend JakeTheDog at 186 supply to 94 from crushing our friend ByuN. I'm not certain what he's waiting for. Does he know his advantage? He knows there's no fourth base. That's the given. He knows he just smashed an army. He knows he's been mining on 5 bases. Now, JakeTheDog, attack, kill, murder, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Oh, the bio is going on down. Jake the Dog killing it with this attack. I'm not sure what's left is there. What is there left? Ah, what is grammar? Now, ByuN trying his best to hold on. Very much dead. 54th by the 171. I don't want to say it any other way, folks. Now, where's the army for a friend ByuN? It is nowhere. ByuN is defeated and Jake the Dog is victorious. So, next little TvZ over there to start off the game. Well, I would actually say this is a clinic on what not to do as a turn player in TvZ. And I know that sounds harsh, but I really think that's a good analogy for it, because ByuN, you know, he wasn't very active on the map. When he did, his drop micro was very I still can't say it, I don't know. His drop micro was suboptimal. For our friend ByuN, lost a lot of medvacs, didn't try to deny these 4th bases, didn't try to push back the creep, didn't deny the 5th bases, the 5th base. And I guess in the end it was just a little bit too much. So this is a very educational cast on what the hell not to do as a turn player. But you know what it is, in fact, the story of Starcraft. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. It would mean so much to me, and it takes so little effort from you. That's the way Mr. 789 guilt them into loving you. Oh gosh, like my ex. Oh boy, what a can of worms on that one. Now, let's get back to the topic. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Truly means a lot to me that I can do what I love in front of people that care. Congratulations to Jake the Dog for his victory over ByuN. Thank you everyone for watching, and folks, remember that the internet could always use some more heroes.